What is up, everyone? It's Thomas with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, Florida, coming at you live every Wednesday, 8 p.m., going over the market stats, the news you need to know about, think about buying, selling, or investing here in Northeastern Florida. And we're also doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions about the best tacos in the area, you have any questions about the real estate market, you have any questions about what's going on here in St. Augustine, St. Johns County, and Northeastern Florida, make sure you fire them off in the comments below, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay. We really appreciate it. It helps us our engagement on here. So if you have any questions, the simplest ones, throw them on there. I'll get to answering them. And if I'm not live here, I'll go back in the comments and answer them. So let's head over to the market stats. I have a lot of things in the works, and I want to do a better job for you guys in terms of what kind of informational data I'm putting out. And I'm working on that. And I want to keep it real brief this time with the market stats. I know I haven't been touching it as much lately, but what I want to do is share my screen. I want to show you the median sales price here in St. Johns County, and then I want to show you something as well, and a couple of cool things that we have on the docket here for Putnam County, right? So if you're interested in more of like the Florida lifestyle where it's more rural, you're more of an outdoorsy type of person, probably want to look into Putnam County because when I show you the stats here, you'll get an idea of why. So let's go ahead and just take a look here. Okay, this isn't working. Boom. All right, so this is the median sales price in St. Johns County only, right? So median sales price is the midpoint value where the price for half of the closed sales is higher and half is lower. Simple as terms, right? So down from this time last month from 535 up the same time this year at 1%. So our projection is still going up year over year. It seems that we are beating it. I think last month we were also at 1% year over year, down month over month. But during this time of year, we expect that. And that is a part of all markets, right? But here specifically, we have seasonality, right? And in certain seasons are different in every market, but for the most part, this is how our market holds up, right? The median sale price typically peaks in June and July, and then will trend downward towards November, and then we have end of the year rally. So really, if you're looking to buy a home, September and October and November are really good times to look at because one, you're not paying the peak price for the year. So it's going to trend downwards, but also a lot of, especially if you're looking at new construction, a lot of the builders have the end of their fiscal year at this time. So we're going to look at Providence Homes here because they won an award, but Providence Homes end of their fiscal year is end of this month, right? So more than likely, they're going to be willing to give out the best deals. Then of course they always do sales events. A lot of the sales events are just what their incentives are normally, just marketed as sales events. But typically at the end of the fiscal year, end of the quarter, and then end of the month, you're going to get the best deal with a new construction builder. And then in terms of just a regular seller, right, this is important information to know because if you were on the market during the summer, that was the peak pricing season. So if you don't have activity on your home, it comes down to two things. Pricing condition, right? That's why your home hasn't gone under contract. Our market hasn't fallen out. Like I know a lot of people are scared of what's happening in the world and the changes and everything, but there's some light at the end of the tunnel, right? And actually, what I want to do next is take a look at Palatka, and this is going to show you kind of a different market, a different price point as well, right? So let me share my screen here. So we're just going to keep it on sale price. Hop back in here. Putnam County, not necessarily Palatka, but Putnam County. But Palatka is the biggest city in Putnam County. Average sale price, their median sale price, $241,495, up 15% from last month, up 15% from last year. That is insanity. I mean, if you look at the prices of the increases, it is, let's see, by year. Let's see. Interesting. I wonder why I did that. That's funny. How did it go by quarter, by year? Let's see. How did it have it before? By month. Was that it? Yeah. Same period. Okay, interesting. I don't know how that happened. It's a weird breakdown of the graph. But up 15% year over year, up 15% month over month. So that's really interesting, right? Like that's something that in today's world, now interest rates, which we're going to talk about next, have started to trend down, which is fantastic. But will that continue? will the interest rates going down continue? We've been seeing it for the past like month now. We had the bad jobs report in August, underreported jobs, and then inflation, right? But we got the inflation data out today, and we had good and bad news. I think core inflation went down closer to 2%, but general inflation, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, actually went up 0.2%. So not anything drastic, but this could affect the policy change that comes this month with the Fed deciding if they want to lower interest rates. Now, will that be a quarter point? Will that be a half point? Will it happen at all? These are all the things that are going to factor into it, right? So important stuff to know regarding the jobs, the economy. They wanted to see a weakening in the labor market, and we started to see that. There was like 800,000 jobs that got revised. Now, that does happen often. The jobs numbers get revised often, but 800,000 was shocking to a lot of people. And then we're seeing inflation start to trickle down. It did go up slightly this month, but does that mean that they're going to reverse what they're saying in terms of lowering that federal funds rate? So people want to know, are mortgage rates going to go down when they lower the federal funds rate? In general, you could say no, because the market is anticipating what the Fed is doing. So the reason we've seen a decline in the past month of mortgage interest rates is because everyone is so sure that the Fed is going to lower by at least a quarter basis point, if not half a basis point. So they've already priced in the changes. Now, the opposite side of that is, okay, so what if the Fed says, hey, we're actually not going to lower the federal funds rate at all because we saw inflation ticked up slightly. The job market isn't as weak as we want to see it. They're looking at a whole bunch of different indicators. So if they don't go down at all, let's say they don't make any change, then I would expect mortgage rates to tick back up. So let's take a quick look at that real quick, guys. And I forgot my water, dang it. But cooling consumer inflation data clears path for lower mortgage rates. But they're saying the same thing. Interest rate cuts are already baked into mortgage rates, economists say. So I'm not an economist, but this guy's probably the right guy to listen to. The housing market is saying goodbye to 7% mortgage rate, with the Federal Reserve widely expected to cut interest rates next week. Mortgage rates right now are averaging 6.3%, which is the lowest level since February of 2023. So you take a look at Mortgage News Daily, take a look at what they got. So they got a 30-year fix at 6.1. They have an FHA 30-year for 5.65 and VA at 5.65. So that is, that's definitely opening up some conversations, because rates dipping that quickly are going to have a change on the market. Now, like I said, seasonality, this is typically not the time everyone's beating down your door to buy a house, to sell a house, right? But this is important data, right? Because this is also going to trigger refinances as well. I'm going to look at refinancing. I'm actually going to go to my loan guy and get numbers just so I can take a look at the scenario, see if it makes sense at this point. Now, I'm confident they're probably going to go down more over the next year or so, and I'm okay stomaching that time until that happens. But I just want to see. I want to get the numbers so I'm educated and I know what's going on. But definitely, if you're looking to refinance and you bought a home within the past 2 years, let's say, and you have a 7% interest rate, this could be a good window of opportunity for you. But what I would say is, like, don't jump on anything. Get the numbers and make a decision, right? Get the information before you say, oh, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Just go ahead and get the information. They'll give it to you and tell you what it's going to look like for you, how much it's going to cost, and then make a decision. So either way, guys, what do you guys think about that? Do you think interest rates are going to tick down a little bit further? I mean, ideally, I want to wait till it gets to 4.5. I don't think just because of how crazy things went, I don't think they'll ever let it go down that low, because they know there's a demand at that point that supersedes the amount of housing that we could ever build quick enough, given our population. So we'll see, guys. Oh, I didn't mean to switch that over, or maybe I did. We're gonna go on to the next news story, and guys, I've been super busy today, and that's my fault, but it's also a good problem to have. And I didn't get to read a whole bunch of these articles, so I'm going to be reading them with you pretty much. I picked them out earlier, but I just ended up doing other things that I had to take care of. So let's take a look at this here. A couple of news articles here. Oh my God, these ads killing me. All right. Ron DeSantis condemned over Florida's draconian new anti-homelessness law. Fort Lauderdale mayor says legislation will provoke tsunami of lawsuits, but do nothing to help homeless crisis. It criminalizes sleeping in public spaces and will take effect next month. Is expected to provoke a tsunami of lawsuits. Let's see. The city is at an impasse because while the state has handled all communities, the draconian mandate it failed to provide a remedy partner with us in which to fulfill their expectations. And from what I can tell, yeah, could this be a lawsuit? For sure. Um, there's not really a great answer to homelessness, right? And uh, this is the truth of it, right? There's going to be people that are going to want to do and live outside the system. And there's also going to be people that are living outside the system because they are doing things that are illegal and don't want to be inside the system. I'm not making this up. I can visually see people out on the streets that are addicted to drugs and that are more than likely engaging, this is obviously generalizing, but engaging in criminal activity. There are people that are choosing also just to be homeless because they want to be outside of society. There's also people that are, homeless because of certain situations, right? Whether it's living conditions or domestic dispute. There's a whole bunch of good and bad people that are homeless, right? But what's the right answer? Well, if you build housing, well, then you create housing and you almost say like, hey, here's the housing for you. You can stay here free, but you're not allowed to do X, X, and Y. And typically, like I was talking, I give out food to the homeless every month, once a month, guys. So I'm in the streets talking to these guys. I'm not just making this up. I'm in the streets talking to these guys, and some of them are veterans, and some of them don't even like the rules of some of these shelters, right? Because they're a little too restrictive. Oh, you got to eat your food over here. You got to do this over here. And there's, of course, the people who are like, yeah, I can't drink and go back to the place. I can't do drugs in the place, right? So, like, obviously, they're not going to want to stay there, and the shelters don't want to keep them there. So, we've noticed when we've been downtown that there's not, it's also not peak tourist season. This is my idea, this is my thinking, that a lot of homeless flock to St. Augustine during peak tourist season because that's when they can make a lot of money. But if you go downtown right now, during the summer when we were giving out food, you most always saw people in Constitutional Plaza Park in the morning, scattered along St. George Street, at the bus station, by the fort. You could almost, we walked a loop several times, and we would just be able to give out 30 sandwiches in that time. To multiple sandwiches, maybe it was like 15 people. We gave 2 sandwiches to a couple people, for sure. So, but recently, we bought 50 sandwiches, and we just stopped. We dropped like probably 40 of them off at the St. Francis house because there was no one out. So I don't know if the city of St. Augustine's doing something different that's aligning with his here, but maybe it's more about a loitering situation. But what do you do? Public space is a very general term, right? So is that a state park? Can they not sleep in a state park? People camp in a state park. I guess the difference would be like criminality and drugs, right? But I don't know, guys. I don't know if there's a solution for it. I don't know what you do. What do you guys think? What are your suggestions? I'm obviously flailing on the issue here. So let me know what you think in the comments. It looks like my comments are all the way over my other tab, which is funny, which I'll pull over here. Let me see. It looks like I got someone here. We got Tracy here. Pull this up on my screen. Getting ready to possibly do a refi on my home we bought in St. Augustine Shores area last September 2023. Reduction interest rate from 7.5 to 5.675. Should I do it or wait until end of year? Well, if you have a 5.675 interest rate, you're not really you're not going to push the envelope there, right? So I'm guessing if you got that interest rate buy down, you either negotiated a great deal with an individual seller, or you're probably at Sable Estates, which is a fantastic community. Love that little neighborhood. But I don't think it's going to move the needle for you. It probably wouldn't be worth it. But at the end of the day, if you need a guy, I'll put you in contact with him, and he'll tell you his honest opinion. He's not going to sell you a refi just to sell you a refi. Be like, hey, this doesn't really make sense for you. So if you need someone, reach out directly, and I'll connect you with them. But just looking at it, interest rates right now we saw were about 5.5, I think 5.65 for FHA VA. I don't think it'd be worth it for you. So, but I'm not a loan officer either, so I can connect you with the guy, and then you have a conversation with them, and that's the best way to go about it. Okay, Tracy, appreciate you. Hope you like the show, but I appreciate you chiming in. All right, next news story, guys. Let's move on here, and this is a big one. And I have a video coming out, should be this Saturday, about the major developments here in St. Johns County, covering infrastructure, residential, and commercial. I think, it's not going to be a popular video, I don't think, but it's going to be a good informational video, right? So, and this next news story will be a part of it. So let's take a look here, guys. All right. So Agrihood, project set to create over 3,000 homes with a farm in St. Johns County. Farmland in St. Johns County is on track to be turned into what's calling the Agrihood community. Developer aims to build over 3,000 homes with an operating farm for homeowners to grow produce. This is going to be on County Roads 214 and 208 in St. Johns County. A lot of the farmers have been fighting against an Agrihood community being built on a nearby farmland. So it's actually a generational family that sold this property, and they sold it to freehold communities who developed shearwater. So if you're a fan of shearwater, Agrihood will probably be on a similar scale. It's going to be a bigger community. It's a 2,673 acre farmland, which are going to turn into a community. And then 3,332 residential units, 250,000 square feet of retail and commercial space, all between County Roads 208 and 214. This is expected to bring, so I put it on here, maybe it's a different article. I read a different article from my video, which is a bummer. But they expect per household, so what did I say here, 3,300 households, was that it? 3,332 households times the average resident, average amount of person per unit, right? So you have 3,332 household times 2.75 people per unit is roughly going to bring around like 9,100 people to this area. Now, that's a lot of people, right? And the good thing is that if you're in the northwest part of St. Johns County, you're not getting another community just yet. It's probably going to come. Oh, did I not start this? Oops. Okay. Well, a little late now. I'll leave it. But what I want to show you here is County Road 214. And this is the most important thing here because it's further south in the community. And you guys, if you've been watching the show, you know that I've been talking about the development. Most of the development started right off here off 210. You have Nocatee, you have Beach Walk, Beacon Lake, you have Stillwater, you have Shearwater, you have Rivertown, Julington Creek whole area over there, Durbin Crossing. All that is right off here off of 210 for the most part, the northern part of St. Johns County. And that's because a lot of people wanted to live close to Jacksonville but get the benefits of living in St. Johns County. And so since, the early, let's say 2020, really, development started growing, right? So 210 started blowing up even more. Then that moved down to International Golf Parkway, which is over here. So you have Silverleaf over here. You have Trailmark down here. You have the World Golf Village in this area. And that's really been developing for some. World Golf Village has been around for a long time. But now we're starting to see it on 16, right? So you have 16 right here. So International Golf Parkway is right here, the Buc-ee's Costco right here. This whole area is developing. You have 16 right here, which is you're starting to see a lot more development on 16 as well. They just put several beautiful master plan communities up here, and I drive by them all the time, and I'm completely blanking on the name. But either way, you have a ton of stuff coming there. But this is coming off of 214. And 214, they used to have a community called Morgan's Cove in here. Put a really great family out there. And I think it's a fantastic location. It's definitely more rural. You're one road into town, right? So 214 actually turns into King Street, which goes right into downtown St. Augustine. So in terms of getting from here to downtown to the beach, you're probably talking like 20 minutes, And then eventually, because you have this is going to be 10,000 residents here, they're going to add an on-ramp to 95, which I know the people who just moved in here will be super happy about it because they got to go down to 207 or up to 16 to get to 95. Kind of a pain as of right now. But that's going to then open this whole area up for commuting to be really easy on 95. So super stoked on that. I think it's going to be a great a great spot, honestly. I really do. Looks like we got another comment here. Let me see. Desert Sunset. How come no one has fences at Sable Estates? Is it an HOA thing? Um, you're allowed to have a black wrought iron fence, to my understanding, in the Sable Estates HOA. They do have fencing between, like if you back to another home, they do have a 6 foot privacy fence there, which you should be able to tie into. But I believe it has to be black wrought iron to the 6 foot privacy fence. I have to double check on that to be 100% sure. But yeah, I'm almost positive you can have the black wrought iron fence. But I'd have to double check. Either way, Desert Sunset, appreciate you being here. All right. Any other questions, guys? Fire them off below. I only got two more stories, and I'm hopping off for the night. All right. So I feel like this one's been pretty good so far. What do you guys think? All right. So, County Planning Board recommends approval of plans for former Cornwell's Market. So this is on US 1. US 1 is starting to develop pretty heavily. You have like Cordova Palms. You've had Palencia for a long time. Nocketee's off US 1. Wells Creek is off US 1. Yes, Madeira. You have a whole bunch of new construction communities that are being built off of there. But it's going to be turned into a U-Haul business. It's been sitting kind of vacant, kind of disheveled for several years, but they're going to turn it into a U-Haul business. So I think that's going to be a good location for it, just to pick up a truck and everything. But all right, I got three more. My mistake. Care for the most vulnerable. West Augustine to break ground on Health and Wellness Center. West Augustine break ground on the site of Health and Wellness Center on Friday, September 13th. So this week, that's cool. So I didn't read this one, guys, but West Augustine hosting a groundbreaking ceremony located on almost 1.23 acres on West King. The 14,000 square foot center will include 2,000 square feet of outdoor patio space and on-site parking. Fully funded $8 million project, $5 million from county grants, $3 million from state grants, and $500 in kind and $500 in private lending. It's expected to be completed by October 2025. Spearheaded by Greg White, the center will provide a comprehensive continuum of healthcare for West Augustine's most vulnerable residents, regardless of their ability to pay. The center will also redirect emergency room visits for local residents while offering resources for health and financial education. That's pretty cool. I wonder where do they say it's gonna go? Sorry, I just want to see where this is gonna go, because I live off West King. They didn't say. They invited people out, but don't tell you where it is. West Augustine Health and Wellness Center. I must be missing it. Well, either way, I'll figure out where that's at. This is journalism these days, guys. You know, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe you guys saw it and you're like, you idiot, it's right there. But we'll find out where it's at, and I'm pretty stoked on that because I live in West Augustine. That'll be a good ad. We don't really have a health center around here, right? Or an emergency room. You have to go up to Flagler. So the amount of residents that live here, I think it'll be a good ad. So if you're looking at a Providence home, new construction home, actually sold one in Nocatee last year to a great family from Tennessee. Providence Home has been selected as 2024 Housing Innovation Award winner. The national award recognizes energy efficient home building and is awarded by the Department of Energy. Providence Homes also won the award in 2022 for Royal Model Kettering at E-Town and 2023 for its Manatee model. So it's being awarded that for their Alberta model at Seabrook Village in Nocatee, which I think starts around like $650,000. But pretty sweet, guys. That's a good thing to see. That's the founder and CEO of Providence Homes. Looks like they're in a backyard in Nocatee, probably. Would not surprise me. So, guys, let me see. I don't have any other questions. Oh, we got Desert Sunset. Just checking for my dog. Yeah, I'll Desert Sunset, if you want to shoot me a text or give me a call, think there's a way I can add my, I wonder if I can reply to you. Well, I can write my contact info here. If you want to shoot me a text, I'll reach out to my site rep there and get the right information. Or if not, you don't want to shoot me a text, you want to shoot me an email. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're more comfortable with. And I'll get that information to you. But I'm 90% positive that you're able to put a privacy fence up. So, oh, we got Apollo. Good day? Is that what that is? Good day? Good day. Actually, helping a guy. He might be watching. I don't know, Jeffrey, if you're watching. Close on a condo for Jeffrey tomorrow. Guy from Australia. Just a really cool human being that I've met through YouTube. But he says, "Good day, mate." And I'm like, I love it. I just think it's great. And when he says it to me, it's like, makes me feel like I'm close to him. We're cool. We're very cool. But guys, that's going to be it. Apollo, appreciate you being here. Desert Sunset, appreciate you being here. Tracy, appreciate you being here. Guys, here every Wednesday, 8 p.m., going over the market stats, the news you need to know about, everything about buying, selling, or investing here in Northeastern Florida. Pretty much the resource for all things regarding real estate in St. Johns County, you're going to find on these live streams, especially. But if you're not a video person, you don't want to tune in every week, we do a newsletter as well. So if you want the newsletter, my contact information is in the comments there. It's also all over my YouTube page. Just shoot me a message and say, hey, I want to get on the newsletter. Shoot me your email. I'll put you on the newsletter. It comes out twice a week. We also do our new construction deal of the week in there. Has a ton of value. Things to do in town, the market stats in town, restaurants, tons of value. New construction deal of the week. If you want to get on that, let me know. Either way, guys, I'm hopping off here every Wednesday at 8 p.m., going over the market stats, news you know about, thinking about buying, selling, or investing here in Northeastern Florida, and doing a Q&A. So, looks like we don't have too many questions tonight, so I'm about to get off my A and get out of here. But guys, have a great night. I'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me answer Apollo. Good evening. Do you think the agro community will allow oversized detached garage? Thanks and good evening. Apollo, I don't know. I think it's too early yet. I don't even think it's going to start until 2026. But potentially, you would think in a Agrihood, but I think it's also marketing, to make, hey, you're living in the country. We got a barn. This is eco living. I think that's kind of what it is. But we'll see. I'll keep on top of it, Apollo. Have a great night. Thank you so much, and have a good evening. All right. See you guys.